This is your one and only 𝐕𝐸𝐸81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and today we are taking a look at an absolutely insane build that you can do as early as level 16 in Hogwarts Legacy. Let's get to it. We're going to start off by taking a look at the talent points spent for this build, then we will talk about gear, and then we'll talk about tweaks that you can make as you continue to level up. So first off, in the spells, we only have 1 point spent, and this is for 𝐿𝐴, and it allows it to hit 3 targets. This is just really strong because you only have to hit 1 target, and then the other 2 spells that branch off of that just seek targets on their own, so you don't have to do any extra aiming or anything like that. And it lights them on fire, and that's super handy as well. Now onto the dark arts section. Do not underestimate the dark arts. It is extremely powerful in this game, especially the Crucio Curse, allowing you to do additional damage to enemies. If you do not get the Crucio Curse, you have the option to not get it. If you decide to not get it, instead pick up one of these 2 that allow you to curse an enemy using just your normal spells. It just applies a curse, the Crucio Curse, to them, but it's not quite the same. It counts, but it's not the same as casting the spell. For example, if you get this talent and you hit the target that you cast this spell on, you can see it ricochets off and curses other enemies around that target. But you can see they don't have that same writhing and pain, and they also don't take damage over time. They just take additional damage. You still do, however, want to pick up the Enduring Curse. This is going to allow any curse that's applied with any of these 2 other things that you decide to choose. It's going to allow that curse to stay on them longer. But if you do get the Crucio Curse, definitely pick this up because this can allow you to easily curse everything that you're fighting. And then the Stunning Curse as well, because Stupefy is super strong, so we may as well supercharge it by allowing it to apply a curse as well. Now onto core, and this is, pun intended, the core of the build. And the core of the build relies on your ancient magic and using ancient magic just to remove targets from the battlefield that are a problem for you. So we specialize in a lot of stuff that allows you to generate your ancient magic meter faster. So we're going to start off with getting at least 1 of the spell knowledge. This allows you to have a whole separate set of spells. I honestly don't really suggest speccing more than 1. I mean, if you really want 3 of them, yeah, go for it, but it's going to be more of a utilitarian thing than anything. 2 of them is going to be enough to put all of your spells there and use them all in combat, and we'll take a look at how I have my spell set up here in a second. Then of course you need the 𝐕𝐸𝐻. This is almost a have to because it gets to a point where the 𝐕𝐸𝐻s become almost useless because they heal you for so little, because as you progress you start to get more and more hit points. Then we have the Protego Absorption, and this allows you to generate ancient magic meter faster when you perfect block and just successfully block any blockable attack. Then we have basic cast impacts, reduce cooldowns. This is just super handy. I mean, the quicker you can cast other spells, the better, and this allows you to cast faster. Next, we have the basic cast airborne absorption, and this allows you to increase your ancient magic meter faster by attacking things while they're airborne, and you want to attack with your basic attacks, which is also going to synergize with this and reduce cooldowns even more. So you hit them, knock them up in the air, or pull them up in the air, hit them with a bunch of basic attacks, and that's also going to reduce spell cooldowns and build your ancient magic meter, allowing you to just delete something off the board. Then we have the evasion absorption. This is similar to the other one. It just allows you to do things you're going to do naturally in combat and increase your ancient magic meter faster. Last but not least, we have the room of requirements. Now you have 2 options in this one, and you're going to see clips of me fighting stuff with this build throughout this video, and you'll see 2 different examples of this. So you have this one, which basically makes you invulnerable. This is the one I suggest defaulting to because it allows you to not worry about what's going on the battlefield and just focus on raising your ancient magic meter. That is a mouthful to say every time. So you take this, you can't take any damage the entire time. An ogre can smash you and it doesn't matter. You can meanwhile focus on getting something up in the air and using that to your advantage to increase your ancient magic meter faster. Now your other option, and this is more on the lines of just increasing the delete capability of this build, and this is something you you could start with or something you could spec into after you get the base of the build done, and that is using the invisibility potions to just instantly delete a target, as you see on the little video there. You can do this mid-combat as many times as you have invisibility potions. It's insanely strong for just removing smaller targets. Now, you aren't specialized into dealing a lot of damage with this, so usually it's going to be smaller targets that you'll take off the board with this. Removing those smaller targets is also going to remove things that you can easily knock up in the air and bounce in the air for a while in order to increase that magic meter. But if things get a little hairy, it's super handy to have. And that's it for the core of the talents for this build. This makes the build, and it is insanely strong. In most situations, you're going to have your ancient magic meter filled at least 1 bar, so you can just delete something. And in order to increase the amount of ancient magic damage that you do, you want the trait Ancient Magic 3, or one of the ancient magics, because there are 3 levels to it, on your gear, preferably level 3 on everything. You can see I currently don't have level 3 on everything because I don't have all legendary items. I have 1 extraordinary and I have Ancient Magic 2. Now, the great thing about this build is you don't have to go fishing for any of these traits. As many of you know, the traits are random throughout the map, and they are in the enemy camps and the little chests, and they're randomly generated. There's ways to kind of fish for the things that you want, and I'll talk about that in another video, but for now we're focusing on this because Ancient Magic is one of the easiest ones to get. All you have to do is upgrade stuff with your loom. Now, it's not traits, it's the upgrades. So for me, it's the right click and doing this. If I take a look at my challenges and I come over here to the room of requirement, you can see here we have different tiers. You have to do it 5 times to get tier 1, then 10 times to get tier 2, and then 15 times to get tier 3. I'm not going to go into the details of doing this because I don't want to spoil stuff for people, and I'm trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible, but the game explains to you how to add traits to things really well. You can really easily get gear items just by fighting enemies that are out in the open. They do start to drop gear somewhere around level 10 to 16. I started to see them drop gear normally, and there are enemies out in the open world. One of my favorite places is right here on the world map. So you come to right here, and there is a relatively dense population of enemies to fight there. All you do is fight them, save the game, reload. They will be back. You can fight them again. This will get you a bunch of cheap gear, like green gear, and that's the gear that you want to upgrade because it's cheaper to upgrade that green gear than it is to upgrade other gear. And you can upgrade it twice, then go sell it, and that will allow you to easily get 3 levels of ancient magic, and then you can put them on your orange gear or whatever gear you have. Now let's talk about some upgrades you can make to the build to make it even stronger as you continue to level. So of course, right from the get-go, get the invisibility potion potency, because as stated, that's a really good one to just remove targets from the battlefield. Under core, I highly suggest Stupefy Mastery because that leaves targets stunned longer, which means that you don't have to deal with them right away. Also, Stupefy Expertise is really good because that turns it into not only a stunning, but also a damaging spell. Over in Dark Arts, I highly suggest getting the Curse Sapper. Because this build curses a lot of enemies, most of the enemies you're fighting will be cursed or should be cursed so that they take additional damage. When they die, you'll gain health back. This is going to make you insanely tough. And it's also going to save you on the Wiggenweld potions. And then of course, since we are specializing in this build in deleting targets, once you hit level 22 and you have the Avada Kedavra curse, you definitely want to pick up the mastery for it. This is going to allow you to just kill pretty much everything you're fighting with the cast of 1 spell, because it says killing an enemy with the Avada Kedavra kills all cursed enemies, and we specialize in cursing enemies. So naturally, this just helps you delete more targets. So of course, you're definitely going to want to get it. Last but not least, once you are level 22, since we have the invisibility potion buff, may as well get this one, which allows you to take out a group of targets at one time with the click of a button. From there, you're going to be insanely strong, and you can kind of just fill out whatever you want to fill out. It honestly won't really matter at that point. Since this build relies heavily on potions, I highly suggest as soon as you unlock the room of requirement, you get these little hopping pots. They just give you a free potion, a random one, every 12 minutes. And in most cases, it's going to be stuff that is extremely useful to you. These are super strong. The blueprint for them costs 3 3 grand, but that's relatively easy money to get a hold of in this game. Get them as soon as possible. So for the spells, I only have 2 spell slot setup thingies, I guess spell rows, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I have 2 of them as stated, didn't bother to go for any more. It seems like overkill. I have all of my heavy damaging spells up at the top, and then on the second row, I have crowd control stuff. All right, well, that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you all found this video helpful and informational. If you did, consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other videos. And if you're looking for another Hogwarts video, you can find a link to that on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.